Yeah, what up, man? As you can see, the last video that I made, which is probably gonna be going out right now, that's basically, somebody called on IG, so that interrupted the video. But basically, that's all I wanted to say. You know what I mean? Like, we're all entitled to our own opinions, but stop with the race thing. It's like, it's dumb already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially to say something about blacks knowing I'm black. Like, and what's funny is because the dude that said it, I don't even think you're black. But with that being said, man, just, run along. You know what I mean? We don't play with little kids. But, yeah. Today, you know what I'm saying? Which is the same time, what I really want to talk about. And I know fools are going to get upset at this too. But it's just funny. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to the industry and certain cats, well, a lot of cats, dudes ain't all what they cracked up to be. Dudes constantly renege on what they say, go back on what they say, and don't stay true to what they say. And what I mean by that is, like, look at this one. A prime example. The Gucci Mane and Jeezy, that was a good one. You know what I mean? That beef being squashed was a good one. It was nice to see, you know what I mean? Because when you got two talents, so many talented artists have lost their life this year and the year past and the year, prior to that. It's like, it's good to see people get old in the game after making that level of, you know what I mean? You can't, if you don't know about Jeezy, then you don't know about rap. If you didn't know about Gucci, I mean, come on, man. Like, these dudes are so big, you know what I mean? Even though right now they're kind of like, whatever, but they were so big that you couldn't help but hear of them, even if you didn't listen to their music. Now, the reason that I wanted to speak on this video is because, like, it's like a lot of hypocrisy, and that's not to do with Jeezy and them, but like the second battle, like, how should I say, Game and 50 Cent. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a verse battle I would love to see. You know what I'm saying? Just off the simple fact that I was a 50 fan, still a 50 fan, and I like Game's music. Game has slid back in a lot of ways, and to me, he's still out there, but not as relevant as far as like in music to the level of the other cats that's out there right now. Like, he's still getting his money, but it's that relevancy as far as like being out there, that's no longer him. But it happens. It doesn't mean that they're no longer getting their money, because there's people still getting money overseas that you probably have long forgot about. But the reason I put out the video, that I want to talk about the video, is the simple fact that they both agreed to do the verse battle. Now, if it was just like they were enemies and they had a few harsh words, that would be understandable. But when you think about it, 50 kicked Game off G Unit, supposedly because he didn't want to handle the beef of G Unit. Certain people that G Unit was beefing with, he didn't want to get involved. That's all I'm gonna say really about that. Now, that's fine and dandy. You know what I mean? People have fallouts all the time, but you got these cats now. How can you do music with somebody or against somebody face to face when you call them a rat? Like, that's what I understand. Like, and that's why I say, like, a lot of things have changed, because it's not only the old way of thinking, but it's just like, if you call me, a bad name, that's nothing. I have a choice whether I'm gonna fight you or I'm gonna just let it go, or we talk about it and we squash it. But how can you squash something of that nature? Dude had people parading around in New York in rat costumes just to go against 50 Cent. And I know a lot of you that paid attention know that he was doing that. And he went out of his way to say that he had paperwork on 50 Cent for snitching and can prove it. Now, if you're not on no thugs, I don't expect you to understand. But if you've ever been in the game and know that if you call somebody a rat, you got to be about what you said. You know what I mean? It's like, and even if you ain't a killer or nothing, I'm not saying to go out and murder. I'm not saying Gang got too much money, he got too much stuff going on for to go out and get his hands dirty in that way. But it's like, why call a person a snitch in the first place if you're going to turn around and do music with them? It's like, and that's why, like, I always said that he was just hurt that 50 Cent got rid of him, because at that time G Unit was at a level to where nobody was really touching it. It wasn't on Death Row's level, but it was up there. 50, Lloyd Banks, Yayo, Young Buck, all them. He had hitters on his stuff, you know what I mean? But even when Mobb Deep came on later, you know what I mean? Like, I was hoping they stayed on it because I always like Mobb Deep. But you see all these artists like to point fingers and call people certain things, but when it comes down to at the end of the day, a lot of it is just smutty. There's no real paperwork on it. If they do, they're not going to be the one to handle it. And like I said, this is not to preach old ways or to say, you know, all snitches should be killed. Snitches will get handled the way they get handled. And if they don't, it ain't nothing new, because nowadays ain't nobody really handling business like that anyway. It's just the game has been watered down, and I think forever that it's going to forever stay that way, because people have moved to a different way of thinking. You know what I mean? It's like the same way when you see people in here and they're talking about different crimes, and they're supposed to be part of the neighborhoods that are grimy, and they've been out there and they did prison terms, but they're on here giving absolutely every detail on why somebody got killed. And I can't state that enough. Like that is just funny, but that's just the thought pattern of a lot of cats. And the funny thing is, some of these cats are my age and older, that know the game and know that you're supposed to keep a stitch lip. You know what I'm saying? But these cats feel like they need to really point out every detail on why somebody got killed. It's like I said, it's the first 48, but that's not to stray from the sole intent of this video. It's just, it's funny. And when you think about it, and I'm sure people are gonna be in the comment talking all types of mess, but you think about it, this dude called him a snitch. If you know for a fact the dude is a snitch, why would you want to deal with? That's like me saying F all 2-5s and then turn around and want to do something with them. Like, or you see me kicking it with a 2-5, or anybody that I've had so-called beef with on the internet, I'm here posted up with them like, oh yeah, you know me, and we squashed the beef. Hold on, you're 2-5, we're not kicking it. I called you a snitch, we're not kicking it. Most likely when we see each other, it's on sight. We gotta, we get up with me in traffic or whatever, you know what I mean? But because it's the stage has already been set, I've already disrespected you to the point to where we can't go beyond that. Now, if the game was just disrespecting 50 just to increase the album sales, then that's different. If 50's able to accept the fact that dude was calling him a rat over and over, which, when you got that much money, you ain't really trying to have conflict anyway, I assume. But if 50's able to get over the fact that this dude was calling him a snitch because it wasn't true, then that's different. That it's on every man to pick and choose his battles and do with what his battles he chooses to do with it. So like I said, some fools downplay it. Some fools don't want issues, so they let it go. But if there's real valid proof that 50 was actually a snitch and the game knows, and you turn around and do music, then I mean, honestly, you would have to snatch your own G card, which some people don't think Game is a G anyway. I don't know him. I know many Pyrus from Compton, but I don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can't say anything about his character. I'm just saying, like, it's funny. You know what I mean? It's funny that somebody will call somebody all types of snitches and say you got paperwork on them, but yet you still want to turn around and do music with him, or whether it's a verse battle or not. That's like me being in the room with that Savage dude. You see what I'm saying? Like, that would make absolutely no sense. There would be no real respect for me doing something like that. Well, for me, I would get hurt. You know what I mean? And not by that dude, but just like the homies, period. You see me in the room kicking in the 2-5, they're gonna smash on me. It's just, and what can I really say? It's like, dude, it's a no-no, and you know it, but it ain't never gonna happen because I won't allow it. I don't care where I'm at, I'm gonna get out where I get mad at. It's just the way it is. It ain't got nothing to do with being a little kid or thinking on a little, but there's just some things that can't be overlooked. So I would have to handle my business, you know what I mean? But I ain't trying to go into that. That's a different thing. But it's just like, all I'm saying, man, is like, all these fools that glamorize these cats that are in the game, sometimes you got to sit back and just watch. and realize that these cats are just all mouth, and they say things that they really don't mean, and they talk about things they'll do that they really ain't gonna do. And that's a prime example right there, because for a fact, most of the people on my channel, if a person said you're a snitch and they got paperwork on you, and you see them in person, you gonna smash. Plain it, I don't care how much money you got, you gonna get busy. Why? Because that's a direct strike against you. That's somebody putting you out there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. With that being said, man, sorry, my videos are mostly just discussions, you know what I mean? Even though I'm basically having a discussion with myself, but it's basically just to point out certain things that absolutely make no sense. And that don't make no sense. If a dude is a snitch and you have paperwork on him, don't do no music with him. And if you do, that you're not a gangster. And just plain and simple fact, you know what I mean? And nowadays, gangsters is so is used so loosely. Everybody considers themselves a gangster because maybe they got a little harder. They, hung around a few thugs or whatever, so they're gangster. So whole different. And gangster had nothing to do with gangbanging. A lot of dudes that were gangster were just, there was somebody in their community. They've been there, they've done that, and everybody recognized them as being a gangster. But nowadays, like I said, it's more loosely used in order to make people seem more than they are. But with that being said, I'm your boy Zod. I will be back at you again with another video. Hopefully something with more substance. This is just basically to point out certain things, you know what I mean? Seeing that this is coming up. So anyways, I'm about to bounce. Enjoy your night. I'm gonna try to put out as many videos as I can because I do have a surgery coming up on my teeth, and that's gonna put me out for a minute because it's gonna be serious. So but anyways, man, enjoy your night. I'm your boy Zod. Get your merch if you want. If not, I'm out.